Hi there, it's Mary with Mary's Stampin' Café. This video is for my special people who signed up for my Easter Bunny Bundle specialty class. This happened to be the 7th project, the bonus, and it's the cutest, yummy, little cute Easter basket. And it's easiest to create this Easter basket by doing a video for it. And so I have it open to everybody just so you get some ideas. I actually got my ideas from another demonstrator when I went to Pinterest and looked up like Easter treats, and it's just so darn cute. So this video is for my to-go participants who weren't in the class in person and able to make this basket, and I couldn't even imagine how to describe what to do, so I thought it would be great to make this video. Now, I'm making this particular one using the Dainty Flowers Celebration Designer Series paper that was part of the class that people received. And the cute little bunny punch is so sweet. Nothing but just the silhouette of the bunny. It's really, really quite easy. And so we're going to go ahead and make another basket, just kind of like this one, a little bit different coloring. And then I'm going to share with you a little bit about how you can think about different sizes. You can make this basket shorter. Well, what do you do if you don't have a super long DSP piece? Let's say you're using a 6x6 package of like the gingham paper. You can do that as well, but create a basket just like this. So let's go ahead. And what you're going to need is a piece of cardstock or designer series paper cut at 3.5 by 3.5. I have a piece of 3 by 11 designer series paper, 3 inches by 11 inches. I have 2 strips that are from the trim. That's going to go on the top and the bottom of my basket piece. Those are cut 1/2 inch by 11. And then I have 2 pieces of 8.5 by 1/2 inch, 2 pieces, because these are going to be for the handle, one handle, but I'm going to glue 2 pieces of my designer series paper to make it stronger. Now, you don't have to do that. In fact, if you wanted to use just a solid cardstock, which are thicker, you could do that as well, but I'm going to just go ahead and glue these 2 together to make a nice strong handle. So from that, you've got your pieces done and cut. You also had included in your package a punched out Blushing Bride piece of cardstock, Label Me Lovely. I am actually using the DSP for my piece on this particular basket, and you received a punched out basic white bunny. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer because I am going to score the 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. I'm going to score, let me get my cutting blade out of the way here. I'm going to score at 1/2. And because this is designer series paper, I want to be very careful and be pretty light because I don't want to rip through the designer series paper. Now my scoring blade isn't all that sharp, so I shouldn't worry about it too much, but I have easily ripped through designer series paper by accident. So I'm going to be quite careful. And I'm going to do all 4 sides. And I'm going to do this one here, just again, I'm not quite seeing it very well. All right. So now that I've scored all 4 sides at 1/2 inch, I'm going to need some scissors now. We're going to be folding this piece up as the base, and so I want to draw something for you. I'm going to bring the camera in closer. So when you see here, you see I have my score lines here, but I'm going to draw on here just so you can see them really well. You've got your score line here on each of the sides. Whoop. That one's not too easy. There we go. We've got our score lines there. I want to trim off this corner. So I'm going to cut on that score line and stop when I get to the horizontal score line, and I want to create a little triangle cutout, just like that. And I'm going to do that on each of the 4 sides, the inside. I don't have to take off a lot. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take off some of that corner, so to speak, the interior corner, because when I fold up those sides, they will just fold much nicer. So I'm going to do each of these on all 4 sides for my base. So you'll want to do that as well. And there we go. So I have all of those 4 cut out just like so. You'll want to do that as well. It's just going to give you a much cleaner fold for your base of your basket. There we are. Now you have to decide, well, what is going to be the base of my basket? Am I going to have this on the inside or this on the inside? I think I'm going to go ahead and have the green on the outside. So I'm going to score all my fold all my scoring lines, excuse me, on all 4 sides. Make sure those are scored and folded well. You can use a bone folder if you'd like. All right, and so they're going to fold up. And you see how easily they fold up when we've taken a little bit of those corners off. So I'm going to lay this down, and then I just need a little bit of my adhesive. And you can, if you want, you can put adhesive right on this piece here. Or, I'm sorry, you don't want to do that. You can do it on this little piece right here. But because I have more room, I like to just do that piece. And then I'm going to just go ahead and fold this in and line it up. Now this piece, like I was telling you, is I kind of cut through the designer paper. And so I have this rip here. I'm not going to worry about that because when I go and do the basket part, the main basket part, that's going to cover it right up, and so I won't have to worry about that at all. So I'll go ahead and on those opposite sides, put my adhesive and then fold those right up to make that base of my basket. Now see, I have that little problem there, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay? So I'm going to set that aside and going to bring in the main part of my basket. So I'm using this as the outside of my basket, so I'm going to turn this over. This is going to be the inside of my basket. And I want to make sure that my flowers are going the right direction. So this is the top of the basket and this down here is the bottom. Now for adhering on this, you might want to use a product that's called Tear and Tape. Tear and Tape is a very strong double-sided adhesive that you can use. You can also use your Stampin' Seal. I would suggest the Stampin' Seal Plus. You also could use a liquid glue. It's just going to take a little more time to dry. So I'm using Tear and Tape. And I'm going to go ahead and get myself that piece of Tear and Tape that's going to go right along the bottom. Whoopsies. Right along the bottom. Put that down just like so. I always get a little bit too long. There we go. Now, I want you to set that aside and go ahead and get your other 2 long trim pieces that were cut at 1/2 by 11. Now, if this is the front of my basket, these are my trim pieces. I would not want to use the same design, so I know this is the front of my trim pieces. So I'm going to turn those right over. And both of those are going to get my strong adhesive. And again, I'm using tear and tape. You might be using Stampin' Seal Plus. You might just be using your Stampin' Seal. If you're not planning on putting too much into, and these won't matter, I'm just going to kind of go right down the center with my tear and tape. Stampin' Seal will probably be fine. Stampin' Seal Plus would be better, and the tear and tape is my best friend for this. But whatever you have in your crafting supplies will work just fine. Trim off my excess tear and tape pieces. I always do that. Seem to waste a little bit of it when I do things. That's okay. Get those out of the way. Now we have several things that have tear and tape. We've got our main basket part and our 2 trim pieces. So we're going to start with our main basket part. Now I want to go ahead and take up my piece and pull off that paper. And what I like to do is I like to start at the bottom, and I'm not going to start right at the corner. I'm going to come in just a little bit. I'm going to line up the base of the side right to the base of the paper. And while you're doing this process, if you don't push down things really, really hard, you'll be able to shift and move it in case you get off on your measure, as you go around. So then I'm just going to take this piece here and come right to the edge and press it down. And now that I've done that, I can start going around the other way. Now I'm going to turn it this way so you can see what I mean. So now I'm just going to come around, keep it to the edge. And again, I'm not going to press down really hard just in case, but that's looking terrific. I can pinch my corner right here if I want. And I'm going to keep going now, go right around that corner. And because that tear and tape is there, it's going to hold it really well. And then when I get to here, I'm actually going to be overlapping. And that's okay. And that's why I said it's nice to start not right at the edge so that that seam isn't right on that corner, and then it'll be popping up. Now what you'll see here is this is not adhered at all, but I'm going to just put this down and put my finger in and push to make sure that things are glued down really well. So think about, these baskets are wonderful for spring, May Day, Easter. You could do birthdays, you could do anniversaries, all sorts of things. Now I'm going to go ahead and just grab a little bit of liquid glue. I can't put in tear and tape, it's a little bit too awkward. So I'm just going to go in with the liquid glue, put a little line of glue in there, lay this down, and then go ahead and just press that together, and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to press and hold, press and hold, press and hold. Give that glue just a little bit of time. Now, when you put your trim pieces on as well, that will hold that together as well. And so this is a bit of what your basket looks like right now. Think about if you didn't want such a deep basket. This is cut at 3 inches by 11. Maybe bring it down to 2 inches by 11. That would take off an inch. Maybe you want to take it down to half of it. You want to do 1.5. And then you'd have a really short basket. And that would be great because then you wouldn't have to fill so much grass inside. All right, now we have that. Perfect. I got a beautiful green bottom and then these beautiful floral. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in one of my pieces for the trim. I don't need my liquid glue anymore. All right. So my basket is there. And now go ahead and I'll get my little paper off of here, if it will let go. And just like we did on the basket, I'm going to start, and I think right now I want to start where that seam is and just keep my seam, well, it's actually going to move around. Oop, make sure my little flowers are going the right direction, even though the screen, see how it has a direction to it? So I'm just going to start right at a halfway point, and then I'm going to start going around just like I did for the basket itself, following along, pressing down as I go, making sure, and when you turn the corners, that's the perfect time to readjust where you are. So if you're starting to get a little crooked, you can kind of veer yourself back over. I'm a little crooked there, but see, I didn't push down really hard, so I'm able to pick it up and move it just a little bit over. There we are. And then there we are there. So I've got my nice trim at the bottom, and I'm going to do the same at the top. So here's that other piece. This is the 1/2 inch by 11. There we are. Let's see now where we have that going over. So I want to start kind of at the same spot that I started my one at the bottom. So I'm going to start that about right here. And now I'm going to carefully go around the top. Again, I'm just not pressing really hard, because if I need to pick up, I can always, when I'm done, press really hard, but I just need to see. Don't want to be all off, and I'm actually not, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead and press those all in, and then this is going to come across, and there we are. So what's really nice is all of my seams that are crossing over each other are on this back side, so I'm going to use this side as the front of my basket. And there we've got with this beautiful old olive trim. It's so nice. Isn't that pretty? I just love that. So now let's set that aside for a minute and go ahead and talk about our handles. Now I want to decide if I want my handle florals to be out, or if I want the green, like the trim, to be out. Now on my other basket here, I have the trim color out for the handle, and I do have another one that I had made that kind of has that same floral that I have going on here, but has the blushing bride. And I use the trim color for that as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that same and let the handle show be the green, because the flowers are quite big on this side and I just don't think you'll get that effect. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and glue my trim together. Remember, I did 2 strips of the 8.5 by 1/2 because I want it to be stronger. And so I'm just going to lay these 2 together and glue them down. You can see my one strip is a little bit shy of that. But now I have a thicker, stronger trim. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a really tiny hole punch, and I'm going to put the basket on, and I'm going to hole punch right here. Then I'm going to come around to the other side and hole punch right here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and punch. I'm not going to glue my strips on, my handle on. You can do that. You can glue your handle on and then do your hole punch for your brads. But my sister-in-law, who was on the class, it was really cute. Her handle could move and go down and come up, which was really neat. So I'm going to bring in these mini brads. And my to-go friends, you have a little packet that's got your ribbons and your brad, a little bit of extra, some bling for you. These are really tiny brads. They're so cute. I don't even know if we actually carry them anymore, to be honest. We may have the mini brads still. I would have to look it up. So there's one. And then I will bring this around like so, and peekaboo find where that little hole is. Get on through there. Whoop. Let me see, what did I do wrong? It's right there. It's right there, little Brad. My fingernails are getting too long for this, you guys. You can't even hold the little Brad. There we go, I got it. There we go. Spread them apart in there, and then we've got it. Great. So now when I do that, this handle can go up and down if I just use the brads, and I don't glue them down. I kind of liked mine glued down on my first basket, though, to be honest. I just kind of like that stability. So look how cute that is. So now to take a look at our thing here, I've got this wonderful coordinated punch there. I can do it that way, or I can do it this way. No, I can't do it this way because then the things are sideways. We don't want that. But I have my sentiment, and it is from the Easter Bunny specialty bundle there. It is an Easter treat for you. So cute. Whoop. My stamp needs to kind of be washed from everybody using it today. So then I'm just going to stamp this right onto the bunny. An Easter treat for you. Isn't that sweet? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the adhesive backed milky dots. And I want to use one of the little blue gems here to put in the eye. Whoop. The eye for the bunny. Because that's going to go really well right here because I have that beautiful starry sky there, and so that'll be really nice. Sticky here. I don't know why that is so sticky. My goodness. Okay, so my bunny is going to go here, but it's going to be raised up with some dimensionals. Just kind of here in the center, just a couple. Don't need much. Wow, those do not want to come off. My goodness. This little piece behind the bunny is just going to help the bunny stand up and stand out. So this, I'm just going to put a bit of my liquid glue just right in the center, just a dollop of the liquid glue, because the Easter Bunny basket does kind of curve. And so I'm going to go ahead and center that, and then I'm going to just hold for a minute so that glue How cute is that? So cute. So in your PDF tutorial, you have all of your measurements for what you need to make this basket. And then of course you have your Easter grass. We've got some Hershey eggs and a beautiful Lind carrot and a Lind bunny, some awesome chocolates for your Easter basket. And when you make your basket, remember you've got the different choices of the DSP. You can pull either or any that you would like, but I also want to share with you now what happens if you say, I want to do a gingham basket with the gingham paper. If you have another design and you're thinking, I really like the gingham 6x6 designer series paper pack, but it doesn't come in 12x12, so I can't do a 3x11, right? But you can do, let's see, I love this color, but you can do a 3x6, right? Or let's say you want the basket to be shorter, so let's do it differently. Let's do a 2 by 6. So we have a 6, let's do a 2. Oops, I want to cut it this time. 2 by 6. Okay, so that basket is now going to be that much shorter than the basket we just made. And all you simply do is adhere the two together the long way. Remember, this was it was like a 3 by 11. Well, now this is a 6 and 6, which is 12. So all I'm going to do is take my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to run it here just a bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and overlap and join the two together just like that. And now you have a piece that will go around and be the size that you need. So now with one that you're doing shorter, say now this is an inch shorter than the basket that I just made, okay? So again, when you think about that, the basket's going to be here to here. Do you keep the base the same size? Sure, you can keep it the 3.5 by 3.5. Let's say you want to go 3 3/4. You want it to be kind of a wider basket and shorter. Just increase your base that was the 3.5 by 3.5. Increase it to 3 3/4. You're still going to score it at the half. Maybe you want it to be a little bit smaller so you don't have to put so many treats inside there. So make your square 3 by 3. So then your bottom base is going to be, when you do the 1/2 inch, it'll be like 2.5 and square inside. So it'll make it smaller this way. So there's lots of things to do. But when you ever have a 6 by 6 paper, simply just cut it the height that you want it, cut 2 of them, and then just go ahead and tape them together, and then you're ready to make another basket using a different pattern that's not a 12 by 12 paper. It's fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed this wonderful 7th project. Can you believe you have 6 cards, beautiful cards, and then a bonus 7th project with yummies inside? My specialty classes are great. I love prepping them and preparing them. I might not do them every single month, but when I do my specialty classes, they include products. They focus on a stamp set or a bundle, and then you get some great coordinating products as part of the class. Fantastic projects, and it's to go or in person, which is great. It's a little bit different than my Stampin' Chat Saturdays, where it's only for local people. So thanks so much, you guys, for participating in my class. And if you haven't participated in one of my specialty classes, check out my events. I have a link below, and I hope to hear from you for one of my classes. And until next time, happy stampin'.